The story is based on is inspired by true stories. It's inspired by anecdotes and really inspired by what I saw in my trips in the interior of Venezuela, the interior of the country, with our producer Will Romero, who's from Acarigua. And really, since 2020, I've been going to Venezuela a lot to do production work and to do music videos and with him. And really, what inspired the story was how I re-encountered the Venezuelan spirit, how I re-encountered the people of Venezuela and that invincible spirit that they have, that we have, in order to overcome obstacles, big or small, every single day, make miracles happen and make their dreams come true, whatever that is. Whether that is getting some chicken on the table for dinner, because to do that means in the morning deciding to do that and saying, I'm going to go to the supermarket that's 2 blocks away, but in the supermarket there's no chicken. Okay, so but there's a supermarket that's about 3 kilometers away or 4 miles away, so I can go in my car, but I have no gas in the car. But hold on, because my aunt does have gas at her house because there's no gas in the gas station. So I'm gonna go to her and get the gas for the car so I can do that. But wait, I'll text her on WhatsApp. Wait, but there's no internet. So there's no internet. So how do I get? So now I gotta walk over to her to go to bring back the gas. All this, and that's like a tenth of the adventure. At 6 o'clock at night, there's two giant chickens on the table every single day. And this is the thing that and then not only that, and then you come around and they say, "Hey Miguel, come sit, have dinner with us, please. We have enough food for you." And it's insane. It's the things that the Venezuelan people have had to endure, and still they have this attitude, this warmth, this yearning to live happily, to be happy, and to share that happiness through their culture, through their music. And I saw that, and I said, why isn't this on film? Where's the film? Where's the movie that shows the world this? Because there's a lot of movies that show the world other parts of Venezuelan culture and the things that the country has had to go through, and the horrible things that have happened over the last 25 years and the struggle, which is real. But what about this other part? What about the part that I see when I go and that we all see when we go on a day to day? And that's really when I said, I need to put this into a movie. What kind of story can I build off of this? Um, and that came the yearning to tell that story came when I was invited to the closing night of the La LIF, of the Los Angeles Latino International Film Festival. And at the closing night, I saw a movie, Women as Losers by Lisette Feliciano. And I saw the movie, I met the festival director, I met everybody, and I was so inspired. I said, and I asked myself, this was 2021. This is July of 2021. Why don't I have a movie here? Why haven't I, who's stopping me from having a movie in this festival? And the answer was the only person stopping me is me, right? The only person stopping this from happening is me. Like I haven't decided to do it. I've had a long career in the commercial world, in the music video world. I started as a cameraman for National Geographic. I worked for Warner Brothers in post-production. And yet, why is it that 17 years after moving to LA, I didn't have a movie in this festival? So I started, you know, thinking about something, thinking and thinking, and then this idea came, inspired by my travels in Venezuela. And as soon as it came, and there's an emotionally climactic scene between the three characters, the three main characters. That scene was the first thing that came to my head. Um, I don't want to spoil it, too much, but it's the climactic, the emotional climax of one of the characters. And it came to my head, and I said, okay, that's the scene. This is the story. It's about two brothers. And I'm gonna call, and I only know one guy that can play this is Carlos Manuel Gonzalez. So I called him and I said, I'm gonna write this role for you. I'm only gonna write this movie, if you say yes. He said yes. So I started writing. And then about 6 months later, we were shooting it, to make the long story shorter, the long story longer. About 6 months later, we were shooting it. And a year after that, about 11 months to the date of that first closing night at La Live Film Festival, we premiered the film at the same closing night at the La Live International Film Festival. So it was very like serendipitous, very circular, the whole journey of this story. And then I realized after watching it in the theater several times, how much of this film is a mirror, not only to my life, but to the life of so many Venezuelans that are yearning for a dream, whatever that is. It could be being a musician, it could be having a house, it could be having a family, graduating from college, getting a degree, a pastry shop. And it's just an uphill battle, an uphill battle. And a lot of people don't get there. They don't. They don't achieve, they don't get the Oscar. They don't do the thing. But the reality is that the real award, like the real treasure, is the journey, is the people that you meet along the way that join your cause and that you join their dreams and their cause. That is the treasure. That's the journey. And whew, get emotional on this. For Venezuelans, it's that. It's like we, I don't know if we'll get there to get to our country and to get to the place where we have what we know we have in our country. But in that journey of getting there, in that journey of trying to get there, the things that have happened to us, the things that we find, the treasures that we find is what makes life worth living.